I wake up in the morning with emails saying, hey, loved your interview with Shane Schaffer. I had interviewed Shane Schaffer for like 2 weeks. Like, we are on the air somewhere every hour of every day.
I got a lot of Raider fans that said I did not enjoy the with Shane Schaffer. So,
Shane Schaffer, Chairman and CEO, Cingulate, on the air with us. And CING, always enjoy having you. And we had a kind of a special day today because we've got kind of an all Cingulate all the time today. Because we've got your Chief Medical Officer going to join us in just a few minutes. Great to have you again. I want to talk again, just for the people that didn't catch you, because we picked up some new affiliates since the last time we talked to you. Once again, their stock symbol CING. You can go to cingulate.com. What was the genesis of this whole thing? Walk us through again.
So, it kind of goes back to, I'm a pharmacist by training, which would purely make me deadly at a CVS these days, but I started my career off at a little company called Marion Labs in Kansas City while I was still in pharmacy school. Went on to Pfizer, then Novartis and Sanofi. During that period of time, I got to know some of the top, really, psychiatrists in the world. And two of them became two of my best friends. So Dr. Raul Silva, who's our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Matt Brahms, who's here with us today, is our Chief Medical Officer. The three of us are sitting around a barbecue over July 4th. And it could have been the perfect mixture of Coors Light and barbecue, who knows. But the two docs were lamenting the fact that, here we are 60 years, now 70 years into the treatment of ADHD. And there's still not a single ADHD medication that covers the huge unmet medical needs. And number one, that is a product that lasts the entire active day. From breakfast to dinner, from home to homework, from revelry to taps. Gets you through that active part of your day effectively. Not too much medication, not too little medication. You don't want booster doses. You want a fast onset of action. You don't want to have the ability to abuse or divert these medications. You want better safety and tolerability. Cingulate has accomplished all of this. And that's where we did it at. We started it at a barbecue on July 4th.
I've never asked this before. So when you were at Novartis, or what do they use pharmacy students and pharmacologists for there? Is it part of the assessment of new drugs, or?
It's funny. You'll find a pharmacist in every single role throughout the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, kidding.
So, you have pharmacists, predominantly you'll find them on the medical side. So medical liaisons, medical affairs, medical writing, clinical research, regulatory, the drug development side.
It's not just about filling strips.
Oh, no. And that's where, so most of your pharmacists that come out of school, they're going to CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Duane Reade. Sure. That's where they're going. Another 20%, so let's call it 70% go there, 20% go to a hospital, 9% take a career elsewhere, 1% go industry. I went industry. So it's not a predominant path, but there's a lot of pharmacists in the industry.
I'm going to let you talk about the precision time release, the PTR medication you guys are putting together. Before I do that, though, you mentioned something about abuse and about the fact that there isn't a medication that goes a full day.
Active.
Because basically it's almost like a pill in your pocket therapy right now, right? It's where you take it when you need it, where you try to take it and time it.
60% of patients today that are taking the so-called long-acting medications
and this is
need a booster
Adderall,
dose.
Ritalin, and
so think Adderall XR, Concerta, Focalin XR, and Vyvanse.
Okay.
Great products.
And those are supposed to be time-released sort of medications.
Yeah, those are supposed to be your long-acting, some are time-released, but
okay.
The fact is either they don't start fast enough, 3 of them don't start fast enough, 1 of them does, but all 4 of them don't last long enough, all 4 of them need a booster dose. And that's really the problem, is 60% of patients are currently taking a booster dose every day. That's where you reach in your pocket. If you're under the age of 18, it's a federal crime to have a controlled substance. You got to go to a nurse's office. You got to drop a card. You got to go to practice.
Wow.
You got after-school activities. Imagine this too. If you're 16 years old, you're driving a car. Maybe in the Midwest. I don't know about California, but basically they're driving home and they're crashing on their ADHD medications. So it's not safe. It's not effective. Right. We can do better.
Okay, literally from barbecue. When you think about this, how many people probably have had that conversation? I wish we had blah, 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 and then it dies on the vine, they never even think about it. From barbecue to the pill you brought in to show us.
Yep.
What was the length of time? Where before the light bulb went on in one of your heads and said, this is the way we attack it?
2.5 to 3 years.
That's pretty fast.
We tried. Dr. Brahms will join us at some, but we tried to take a delivery technology off the shelf. Typically, think of the capsules. You open it up, all the little beads fall out.
Yeah.
It would be bigger. Our tablet is the size of your pinky nail.
Right.
The capsule, to do what we want to do, would have to be the size of your full pinky. Wow. Make a better suppository than it would an oral medication. The fact is, what we did is we built PTR from the ground up, and we're not only utilizing it now in ADHD, two products there, but also anxiety, insomnia, Parkinson's disorder, Alzheimer's, oral oncology agents. We have a platform of medications we'll be developing with.
Let's revisit the drug itself,
Yeah.
because this is pretty interesting, and I think we can probably pull up the graphics as you're talking about it. But talk about the 3-in-1 almost, I guess, is the way to talk. And this is the precision time release, the PTR technology. Talk about what it does and in what phases.
So what it gives us the ability to do is, for the first time in the history of the world, we can give this small little tablet, take 2, 3, 4 of the same or different medications. And in various layers you see here, like the second drug release, the first release, the third release, we can either put a combination of drugs or just one simple drug. So in our products for ADHD and anxiety, we use a single drug 3 times. And then now we can, for the first time within a 5-minute window, precisely determine when that drug is going to be introduced into the human body. We can taper that or change it for any, and modify it for any different therapeutic disorder. In cardiovascular disease, you need it one way. In ADHD, it has to be a very specific way. If it's Parkinson's or movement disorders or Alzheimer's, again, you need to modify the drug. This tablet has the ability to do it.
And the interesting part about this is you just said something. You could have multiple drugs or one drug. In this iteration, you have one drug. Is there a world where you could modify and perhaps do other technologies inside of that? I mean, I think you kind of let something on there, didn't you?
Absolutely. I mean, there's some pretty cool ways also to maybe put a ligand on see that third dose? Let's say it's not too well absorbed in the colon. Let's say we're waiting 12 hours to release it. Maybe we need to make some way for it to have higher motility or better absorption. There's ways to do that. Think proteins. There's future things that we could be doing. These are definitely forward-looking statements, but there are options for us to modify even the drug itself to really optimize therapy.
Is it stomach acid, or what inside of us? What determines how fast we're absorbing? Is it blood? How fast we're absorbing it?
So you have 4 things: absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. So not to get too scientific here. Absorption.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah, obviously.
Testing you.
It's the name of my band.
Thank you. I still remembered a few things from school. But basically what we're talking about here from our platform is what helps us get the product absorbed from the GI tract. And what happens is you have a very acidic mouth and stomach.
Yeah.
So that's a very low pH.
After a couple of beers, Mike really does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe a little more alkaline then. But as you move down the GI tract, it becomes very alkaline, very basic. So you have much more of a base mechanism. What's the beauty of the PTR platform and our erosion barrier layer? It's pH independent, it's fluid independent, it's food independent, and all you need is a heartbeat. And if you don't have a heartbeat, ADHD is the least of your worries.
It doesn't matter.
Amazing.
When we come back, we're going to bring on Dr. Matthew Brahms, your Chief Medical Officer. But I want to talk about the arc of the story with respect to FDA.
Yep.
And then partnerships, and of course you've caught up a couple of things like anxiety. You brought up things like sleep. Like you're experiencing all these things at the same time.
I'm anxious because I can't sleep.
Shane Schaffer, Chairman and CEO. Cingulate, CING is their stock tipper. Cingulate, coming up, we're going to get the Chief Medical Officer. We see if everything, I want to hear about the barbecue first of all. Don't you mind on the doctor? That's the first thing.
Over the side.
Yeah, how bad did it, how long did it last? How bad was it?
Well, we did have a triple release.